Empress. I say the royal purple makes a good funeral shroud. I'm incredibly lucky to be in Istanbul when the mother of all historic underground water reservoirs, the magnificent Basilica Cistern, is being drained of water for restoration. While it's closed to the public, the conservation team has kindly understood who the first people were. It's discoveries like this that are filling in the gaps about the first settlers of this great city. These round kurgan burials suggest they were from Central Asia or Thrace. The people here are totally lovely. They've invited me up to have a look at some of the other things that they found. How amazing. Oh my goodness. Talk about a fine sense. So these beautiful storage jars, those will be Byzantine, so the kind of medieval period. And this is all going to be early Bronze Age and Iron Age, so back to the time of the cemeteries. So the guys on the excavation here just found a coin. They've just pulled it out and they've let me hold it. Oh, can I see what it is? It needs cleaning. The coin's marked with the image of Theodora's husband, Emperor Justinian, a relic of the city's role in a vast network of trade spanning Europe, Asia and Africa. When Asia was being joined to Europe by the Bosphorus Tunnel, 40 feet beneath the surface, a thrilling mystery was discovered. It was the remains of a late Roman harbour, 1600 years old, that was the hub of the medieval world. Posted an astonishing 37 shipwrecks, was one of the biggest archaeological digs in the world, and startling evidence for the busiest port in the Eastern Mediterranean from the 4th century to the beginning of the 12th. Such an honour to be in this lab, because this is the most incredible project. I know it's one of the biggest archaeological projects in the world.
Yes, yes. We found a Byzantine harbour and more than 30 shipwrecks, so it was amazing excavation.
You've got goldfish in some of the tanks. Why? Why have you got goldfish there?
We are using goldfish against larvae of mosquito. And first 2 goldfish belong to my son.
So they're kind of lab assistants and pets here.
Exactly.
It will take the team, even with the help of the goldfish, 50 years to work through the archaeological finds.
Also, we found a brazier, a jug, a casserole bowl, a beaker, bulk of olive seeds, and also cherry stones inside a reed basket. It's a real time capsule.
A reed basket with cherry stones in that those sailors would have been munching on. I mean, 1100 years ago, and you found them. That is just staggering. It's mind-blowing. My favourite. It's a beautiful earring that was possibly lost by a Byzantine woman. Oh gosh, it's just fantastic. So this is uber precious. So it's decorated with emeralds and rubies and pearls. And you can just imagine a woman from the period proudly wearing it. Just being up close to this, it short-circuits you into the life of those women and men in the medieval times. You can just imagine those sailors cooking their meals, eating cherries, sailing out across thousands of miles worth of sea. And it makes you think how brave they were, because it's a small boat, this. But this ship is completely seaworthy, and in the right conditions, it still sails around the waters across Istanbul. Queen of Cities was the ultimate prize for international powers. After years of circling the city by land and sea, the Ottoman Turks took Constantinople in 1453. Islam had arrived. Great mosques and palaces were raised. It was the dawn of a new era, including the creation of an entire world within a world. A huge citadel protected by 3 miles of solid stone wall,
overlooking the Golden Horn, the Bosphorus, and the Sea of Marmara.
One sultan ordered 50,000 tulip bulbs, 100,000 hyacinth bulbs, and 40 tons of rose bushes, almost certainly for this garden. Decorated with reeds and a meadow of blue and white flowers.
Inspired by the opulent tents Ottoman commanders used on military campaign, kiosks were installed so the Sultan could appreciate his natural surroundings and to host visiting dignitaries. This kiosk celebrates victory after a 40-day siege to capture Baghdad in 1638.
After one circumcision ceremony, French diplomats reported that the Sultan impressed with birds of prey and lions and giraffes and even 2 elephants. My next treasure is a short boat ride away across the Sea of Marmara.
A string of 9 islands called the Prince's Islands because the Byzantine emperors would, on occasion, exile here princes who threatened their power. For most, the islands have provided a welcome relief.
The Prince's Islands are where people from Istanbul would come to escape the heat of the city, often bringing a picnic.
I'm heading to Büyükada, the Big Island in Turkish, the largest and most popular of the Prince's Islands. 6,000 live here, with a massive summer population bump to 40,000. During the 19th century, it was the place to leave families over the summer as the money spinners commuted by ferry to Istanbul. City homes were swapped for fabulous summer houses called yalis, with gardens overlooking the Marmara Sea.
But did that in style. So this is a really typical Ottoman breakfast. And it's interesting because you've got influences that are both local and from far and wide. So there are dates from Mecca and Medina, halloumi from Cyprus, borek from across the Black Sea, and these fantastic little donuts that come from the Greek islands. Probably the most local thing, possibly the most delicious thing on the table too, is this jam. So jam here is made of plum and lavender and often of rose petals.
Bourgeoisie. With its marbled staircases, 30s furniture and fine rooms, it combines both continental and Turkish styles. It's a symbol of the multi-ethnic, multicultural makeup of the historic melting pot of Istanbul and her neighbouring islands.
Every time I come, I try to resist it, and it's impossible.
Buyurun.
Amazing. Thank you. Shaban. Forced to leave Russia, and it's where he wrote his autobiography. And people described him being here as happy as a child. And I'm not surprised, because he had massive gardens and a lobster pool and a sea view. So, might have been exiled, but this is exile in paradise, isn't it?
The island provided a brief respite for Trotsky before Stalin's agents eventually caught up with him in Mexico. And it's not the only ruin on Büyükada with an extraordinary history.
Hidden up here in the pine forests, right at the top of the island, there's something really special.
A mysterious building constructed in 1898 by a French Ottoman architect.
It was originally meant to be the Principio Palace, a kind of super luxury hotel and casino owned by the same people who owned the Pera Palace in Istanbul, where Agatha Christie was supposed to be inspired to write murder on the Orient Express. And it is the biggest wooden building in Europe.
But a curious chain of events meant the building was completely repurposed.
But as the years went on, it wasn't just orphans, but girls and boys whose parents needed help. And often they left behind these incredibly touching little remnants, like this pair of shoes. As the queen of cities, the fortunate city, the greatest city on earth, and right here, right now,